Okay, guys, we're gonna breathe in and out. Okay. Hello, guys. Today, I wanted to talk about my channel, where it's at today, things I'm thinking about for my channel, and then just what I'm dealing with in my general life, in general. Yeah, that makes sense. First things first, I did want to acknowledge my intro. Yeah, I do this little thing now where I breathe in at the very beginning of my videos, and the reason why is because I hear a lot about like those first 30 seconds matter so much whether or not someone's gonna click on your video. And to be honest, if it ever gets to a point where I'm just like, yo, I really gotta make sure these 30 seconds are like the best 30 seconds of my life, um, for a video, it's just not worth it to me. Overly saturating my videos with a personality that doesn't really exist within me. Just the sack, the whole point of him is that he is a guy dealing with real life issues, and for me to be that over the top YouTuber personality, the one, the hey everybody, blah, blah, just doesn't seem worth it to me. Sounds really exhausting and performative, which there are aspects of me on this channel that are performative, but hopefully that is one I can stay away from. That's the bottom line. All right. But with that aside, I wanted to talk about where just the sack the channel is. So let's do that. I am currently on my page, and as you can see, we are currently at 162 subscribers with 220 videos. Um, so my video count has been just going up pretty consistently, and I guess I should be grateful for that because I guess burnout is always a real factor, and there have been times on my channel where I'm just like exhausted as hell and worried that I wasn't going to be able to keep up with it. But thankfully, I've been able to almost consistently post on a week to week basis, with one exception where I actually was really burnt out. And I made a video like this recently saying that I'm just tired. Uh, somewhere in here. That was the last video on the journey so far. Yeah. Oh no, one of the last videos. I'm tired, and I was. And in some ways I still am, but the difference is why the reason why I'm tired. It's no longer about the channel being too much for me, and it's more about uh my own personal life, which we'll get to. Other thing I want to acknowledge, 162 subscribers. So recently, my channel has just been slowly but surely moving up in subscribers by itself. And what I mean by that is that sometimes I make a short or I make a good video that catches like several people to subscribe to me, and I see those videos coming, and then when I finally post them, I'm like, yes, it worked. I got some more people engaged into my channel. But recently I haven't been doing that. I've posted a few shorts, I posted a lot of videos. Let's talk about that too. Um so in the last month and a half, since July, it is August, half midway in August, I've just been posting myself playing as raw as possible, playing video games. So I was playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 for a while, finished that one, played some more Stanley Parable, that's what these are. Finished that one, and then I switched over to the Kids Next Door video game. Um, and I've recently finished that one as well. So we have officially, in just a month and a half, I think, oh, I missed Toy Story 3. We've beat four different games. We completed four different games, and I feel great about that. So part of the reason why I'm so grateful for that is because I really want to be able to like play through games and be nostalgic for them as much as possible. Like remembering games that either I grew up watching on YouTube. Sorry, guys. I either grew up watching on YouTube or I played as a kid. And both are true for some of these games. Um I guess the hard part for me before, speaking of the burnout, was that I didn't really know how to do that and then maintain a certain quality for the videos. Like, just editing isn't something that I really thought about when I decided to start posting on my channel, and once I started doing it, I found it difficult. And even once I got into a rhythm of like what editing looks like for me, it's still exhausting and intimidating when I have a real life job, right? Like, and by real life job, I just mean a separate career that has nothing to do with any of this. So, what I realized is that I got too caught up in the idea that I somehow have to compare to, you know, the bigger channels on YouTube, the Jacksepticeye's, the Markipliers, or even the ones that are even more performative, right? The ones that don't that rely on their editors a lot more, rather than the raw gameplay. And I realized that's not going to work for me because I'm a one man team with with a completely different career in mind. So what I started doing recently is I just started playing the games, trying to stay as true to the gameplay as possible, playing them, talking about them, and sticking with it. And then if I really needed to make a cut, I would just stay silent. Um, and then that's it. So that when I would go and edit, it would no longer really be editing. It's just like literally cleaning up the beginning, the end, and whatever silent moments I left in the middle, and that's it. So really raw uh gameplay. And that's a little scary because I'm like, what if I'm just overlooking a lot of small mistakes? But it's satisfying at the same time because being able to play 4 different games in 1 month is not something I could have done if I were rewatching every second of every video I posted. So uh it's giving me a lot more time back, and it's allowing me to enjoy it more. That's the real big one. It's so exhausting, like worrying about the quality of the video when it's like it's not something I need to care about now, right? I think that's the big thing. Like, I'm literally at less than 200 subscribers. I don't have the luxury to be worrying about quality of videos and stuff like that, and I don't think anyone really cared if that was there. It's just like, it's either I'm an interesting person or I'm not, and that's it. I think that's the only thing that really matters now. Moving on from that point, I guess is just to say, what am I looking to do with my channel? And I think that's a bit ambiguous. I think what I want to do or want to see from my channel, at least for the rest of this year, is to just see numbers go up. I don't want to be in a place where I get too caught up in whether or not this channel ever even gets to some of the basic goals on YouTube, which is like the main thing that YouTube wants from me is to get 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of of watch time, of people watching my videos for like X amount of hours. But those things are hard, and I'm probably like 10% of the way there for those main goals. And in reality, I feel like it'd be exhausting for me to try to force those goals through. So what I want to do is just keep going, see a steady increase, which I am seeing, and I'm actually very happy about that, and just kind of enjoy the process. Because if I ever were able to make money off of YouTube, I don't know if that's something I would really enjoy. I'm not sure about that yet. And especially if that were like the main way I were making money, it's scary to think like how much more important it would be if I were seeing, certain numbers or playing certain games. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like I really want to learn how to just enjoy the process and be part of it. And then if down the line I decide like this is something I want to build on as a career, like I would hope that like by that time I have more skills in being entertaining, figuring out what games make sense for my channel and stuff like that. Main strategy. so far is going to be playing nostalgic games, like either superhero games, cartoon based games, or even like particularly interesting YouTube games or PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2 games, and just playing through those as much as possible. So that's like my main strategy. And then below that will be videos like this where I just kind of am myself, not distracted by any other game or anything like that. And then and then or just doing something that's not specifically gaming, like a challenge or something like that. Like I really want to take inspiration from OG YouTube, like classic YouTube, before every video had to be that one video that makes it onto people's recommendation feeds. Like I would love it to be more of a personality based experience where it's like people watch because I am or I am not interesting, which is something I alluded to earlier. If I'm not interesting enough and I don't have the personality to bring people through, so be it, right? Um, but that means me getting used to being the reason the video even exists, right? So not it's not about, oh, like I want to see a playthrough of this game I used to play, right? Stanley Parable, Kids Next Door, whatever. But instead, like I want to, just see someone goofy doing this goofy thing. Like one example is like I recently saw Jacksepticeye doing like a soda challenge. And this was an old video of his, and I would love to do that, like trying weird sodas. I'm looking at and like I have the order on Amazon just like sitting there, like these 20 different or 10 different soda flavors, and I'm like, I kind of want to make that video. It's just a lot of money. But uh it's stuff like that I want to start exploring more as well. And then when I really have energy or creative time, I would love to make like package videos where I do spend a lot more time editing to have more interesting conversations, right? Like one example that I have in my head coming up is like I played Pokemon Go on vacation. I recorded some clips, but actually taking the time to put all the clips together or to talk about it is a little more of an ask than even playing a game over 2-3 weeks. So stuff like that is a little more challenging and requires a lot more effort from me and a lot more energy. So I want to spread those out across the channel and not focus too much on them. And I will say, like I said, I like when I first started playing Kids Next Door, I was like at 149 subscribers, and then 13 videos later of me just playing this game over 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost, uh, I jumped up to 162. So that's kind of steady growth doesn't normally happen for me, and I believe the reason why it is happening is because I'm picking a niche, right? Like I think YouTube is really annoying in the way that in order for you to grow, you have to like put yourself in a box and become this Clash Royale YouTuber, Minecraft YouTuber, Nintendo YouTuber, right? Where you only play Mario and Kirby and all those games, right? And you can't just, enjoy the process, right? And just play whatever games you're interested in. So I am starting to fall into a niche of a sorts, but I'm trying to make sure that I diversify enough that in the future I'm not stuck in a very rigid box. And that's if I'm still investing myself in this channel, but it's not going to be worth it if I do grow and then I only grow because I'm playing, these big cartoon games like Toy Story 3 or Kids Next Door, and then I don't know, like I get stuck in a Pixar games only niche where I can only play stuff like Cars and Ratatouille, and I can't play even, I don't know, just like Call of Duty, I guess. I would love to play more Call of Duty Zombies. And even though that's like a very different world, or Pokemon, like I wouldn't even be able to play Pokemon. Like stuff like that sounds horrible. I would not want that. It's very important to me that I don't fall into a niche too early. From what I've been listening to and watching of people talking about their growth, that's definitely one thing I want nothing to do with. I do not want to be stuck in a very tight niche, which means slow growth or maybe no growth at all, and that's okay because ultimately this is only interesting to me as long as I enjoy it. If I don't enjoy it, it's no point, right? It's no point. Lastly, uh, before I continue to yap too much, the other thing I want to talk about is just my personal uh state of mind and where I'm at outside of YouTube. And I can't. I feel uncomfortable getting too specific or too into my own personal life. But I guess the most I can say is I'm feeling a lot of burnout in my actual career, and when I see that, that actually motivates me to post more and do more. On Or at least that's one side of it. Like it really excites me to see growth and change in my life through YouTube, since I can't find it through my actual career. But the other side of that is my career is very draining, right? Like my actual 9 to 5 job is very draining, and it demotivates me a lot in my personal life and everything else that I do. I'm waking up really late on some days. Like some days I go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up at like 12 or 1 p.m. Right? Yeah. And I'm missing out on the morning times, which are my favorite times of day. It's just so much to ask me to be present for the morning because I can barely sleep through the night. I don't get a lot of good sleep at night, and even today, a Saturday, I woke up at like 1 p.m. and or 12 p.m. Yeah, it was 12, and I still feel tired. Like maybe I overslept or something, and I feel so exhausted. So YouTube is not no longer draining me. It was because I was spending so much time editing, and I was just like, I want to do more, but I can't do more because I don't have time. And that sucks. Like, seeing growth on my channel is so dependent on time that it hurts me to have to put my time into other things. So finding a way to do YouTube in a way that doesn't require so much time out of me, or at least at the time I can invest it even more so even when I'm tired because it's actually fun. That's a really meaningful strategy, and that's why editing less has become so much so in like takes such a heavy load off of me, and making a video like this feels better for me because I can just be myself and just stop worrying about everything else. Kind of like a diary entry and just logging my journey. Maybe one day I'll watch this back and be like, wow, that's interesting stuff. Um, but I think that's the main stuff. I still try to keep up with my other hobbies, and I'm big into salsa dancing. Um and I've tried stand-up comedy, didn't like that. I used to play guitar for fun, and or at least try to learn it is what I really should say, but even I haven't had any time for that. Working out, that's another one that I need to make more time for. Meditating, that's one I want to get back into. I used to love that stuff as a kid, but now I could barely sit with myself because I'm just so personally exhausted. I'd rather sleep than just sit with myself. So that's just like a taste of who is sack boy man just a outside of uh the games. And I think that's all I'll say. I don't even know how long I spent talking. Hopefully 10 minutes. If it's more, I yap too much. My bad. Uh and with all that being said, I hope to catch you in the next one, and I'll make it a point to, do more of these types of videos as well in the future, like at least once a month or once every 2 months, and just to keep checking in with myself and I guess, yeah, keep up a good pace with where I'm at. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.